welcome to the ends.
Moved your atelier to downtown.
Yes.
Tell me, what was the thought process behind that?
I went through a whole process of trying to figure out where I wanted to be. I think a lot of times, like, people that have businesses think about access. They think about where people can have easy access to them. So a lot of the kind of search for a new location for me was about having people having easy access to us. And then I thought, no, like, what makes Troy tick? You know what I mean? Like, what do I want to where do I want to be to evolve into what Tribe 9 is and also who I am as a man? So I think, like, growing up in Denham Town, like, it just made it easy for me to kind of make this decision to move back downtown, because I was in Kingston Gardens before, shared a space called The Third with 2 other designers, and then I went back uptown for access, for people to have access, and then now I was like, you know what, I want to be in a space that makes that creativity and makes Tribe 9 actualize Tribe 9 to what it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, F&B just made sense for me, and they welcomed me with open arms. They wanted me as much as I wanted to be in a space. And it's a creative space. Kingston Creative is next door. You know, Art Walk is behind us. So it just made sense for us.
Okay. Were you at all worried about the downtown stigma? You have a very high profile clientele, even though Tribe 9 is for everyone.
Yeah.
But were you worried that your clients wouldn't translate to the new space?
I think that's what took me so long to kind of make the decision to move down here, because I was just thinking about other people. I was thinking about access, like, what will people think about this moving downtown thing? And then I thought, you know what? I think downtown is actually where creativity lives, you know, to me, and it's usually the case in any other city. So why are we not utilizing our downtown space? So it made sense for me to kind of be ahead of the grain a little bit, you know what I mean? To kind of just move down here and kind of have people traverse down here. Like, you know what, like, let's just figure out what that stigma is and kind of go around it, you know what I mean? Or face it head on, you know what I mean? Because I feel like to understand why people are so petrified of downtown is to actually ask the question, like, what are you actually afraid of? People? Your own people? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I am obviously aware of what is going on down here and aware of all the stigmas that is attached to here, but also it's like, I know how I feel down here, and I'm more a Jamaican down here. I feel more connected to my people down here. So it made sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
That Kingston Creative is leading the charge in rehabilitating the image of downtown. How do you feel to be a part of that?
I feel like being in the center of the art district is like the most important thing. You know what I mean? I walk out and I hear the sirens and I hear like the bustling of people. I see a corporate and I see creatives in one space, just kind of walking down the street. And just like the buildings down here just reminds me of like old school Jamaica. Like Jamaica in Sapia had this book that I was looking at, and it showed this exact building and it showed what it looked like back in the day. So it's just like, this has a lot of history, the building in itself. So kind of being a part of that and also having Kingston Creative next door as well is kind of like just seeing that creativity unfold every month is just like crazy to me. And that's where I want to live. I want to live in a creative space. And I think also like being down here and being so close to where I was born and close to where I grew up, I feel like I wanted a space that spoke to like the younger generation, for them to understand that there's another thing to choose. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a lawyer. Like, there's designers that are out here that are working, and it's actually like, the space is kind of like it's an atelier. Like, it's a space that you can see things happening. Like the machines are behind you, as you can see. So everything is done in the space. So I want to do workshops with the kids to kind of make them see exactly how these things come about and how garment construction happens. Pattern cutting workshops, construction workshops, everything. I want to do that in this space, and I feel like we have the space now to kind of evolve what Tribe 9 actually is, and it's kind of just about people, really.
Yeah. And this is a much bigger space than where you were before.
Sure.
Tell me what went into the design of this space, because you have a very particular look and it's really jumping out in here.
Yes, it is. I have this kind of juxtaposition between rustic and very sartorial, right? So I'm an obsession even with lines. I love lines. So this space is kind of like giving you the rustic feel of the ropes and the galvanized pipe, but it also gives you a feel of like constructed garments and sartorialism and just like lines and patterns, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like marrying those two things together and then giving you pops of colors, because, you know, Tribe 9 has to give you a little flavor, you know? Yeah. So that's what the space is meant to represent. And also, like, I love the idea of having like an open space just so you can see everything that's happening. You can see from beginning all the way to end of constructions, and I want people to actually see that. I want all the artists that we work with, I want the individuals that come in the space to actually see that everything that you're wearing is constructed in this space.
Tonight we're going to be showcasing 7 Miles, and it's inspired by Negril Beach. And the beach is basically my solace. It's like my place that I go to kind of just relax and refresh and get away from work and get away from But this collection is very easy breezy. We like flowing, it's light materials, it's a lot of accessory heavy. We have Aviola on the accessories as well. This is 7 Mile collection.
Just like Oraine Williamson, you decided not to just move and say, hey guys, I moved. You had an event and launched a capsule collection just a few months after you launched your big collection.
Right, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Apparently I like working. I think my idea for this capsule collection is actually the heat wave that's happening right now. It was literally on a whim. I felt like I wanted to introduce people to the space, but I also wanted people to kind of be in my brain a little bit, to kind of see the diverseness of what's happening. I wanted kind of like a lot of fluidity, and I wanted a softness with the harshness of downtown.
When did you exactly decide that you were going to do this, and how long did it take to put together?
The collection came about 2 weeks ago or less. I went to the fabric store and I was like, I need to do something that is breathable and something that is fluid and something that kind of gives you that unisex feel. So as you can see, like the guys were wearing like shorts and wearing like the wrap skirts over it to kind of give you that kind of unisex kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit, but not too much, as you know, that's what we're about. But also kind of like showcasing all different kinds of people, you know what I mean? And sizes and colors and just people that you see every day as you traverse down here. I want to make sure that that was represented in the collection.
Yeah. And
even today, we were still working on the pieces. My seamstress came in and she was just like, all right, cool, what we finishing? And I was like, I need to do this dress and I need to work on this piece. This was done this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
The tribe has moved to downtown. Final thoughts?
Downtown. I am just elated about what's about to happen. Like, I have all these things going on in my brain that I want to do in the space. I really want to do some workshop with designers to kind of to learn how to edit a collection, to learn how to represent yourself marketing-wise. I have a lot of things that I've acquired over the years in terms of knowledge and just like working in different environments. So kind of just sitting down and like just regurgitate all the information to people always gets me excited. So like, it's just, this space will actually show me who I've become as a man as well as a designer. So yeah, the kids are welcome, the grown-ups are welcome, the designers are welcome, the creatives are welcome. You know what I mean? We're gonna open a space in a big way. So I'm excited about that.